Hey guys, welcome back to Flamingo Mamas. On today's episode, as you can see, we're doing something different. We're keeping it spicy for you guys. Today's episode is going to be suppress emotions. We're going to get really, really deep in getting out of that little pocket that we like to fall into and just block everyone out. The do's and don'ts. Definitely
Mm.
the do's and don'ts.
On this topic specifically, we're going to be talking about why expressing emotions is still considered a risk for us and what it's costing us. Whether it's the fear of being too much emotionally or simply just wanting to avoid a situation.
Yeah, on your day-to-day life or the people that surround you the most is
Hmm.
the ones that you tend to block out the most. And for that purpose, we are taking this opportunity to talk about it because we have created a safe space, or we are building a safe space for everyone, regardless if you're a mom or not. So we welcome you to, if you ever feel the need to share your story, share a situation that you don't feel comfortable with, but you just need to get it off your chest. This is the reason why we created this podcast, and also the reason why we have the Real Talk submissions, just for the sake of you getting it off your chest. That's what's most important.
And starting off a topic because there's only so much as individuals that we can do. The
Yeah,
more
to
that we
help.
have people discuss situations, the more we can help
Yeah, I mean, we're not licensed therapists, but you got
or
two homes
try.
over here, two homegirls over here, and we're not gonna judge, that's for sure. Or we might. I don't know. Maybe just a little bit.
It's a healthy judging. It's not. And one specific one, which is very common, I blame myself for it, and it's the strong mom syndrome.
Mm,
And
yeah.
I'm going to be using a lot of these on this episode because this is a lot of generational trauma being passed down in a sense. A lot of I don't want to rely on anybody because I can do it myself, which is not always a good thing.
Yeah. Being strong doesn't mean that you have to hold off on your emotions or not feel like what you're feeling is valid for the sake of literally keeping the peace for someone else. I saw, I don't know if it was a meme or a video on social media that said, keep not saying anything is keeping the peace, but who is it keeping the peace for?
For yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah, so you have to think about like you as an individual not speaking out on something that's actually affecting you, who is it keeping the peace for?
Absolutely
And
nobody, because
that's,
at the end of the road, it's gonna blow up.
yeah, eventually you're just gonna get to the end of the stick and you're just gonna start whipping everybody, literally. So that's not fun.
Metaphorically and in real life.
Yeah. So being strong doesn't necessarily means holding it in. Just by vocalizing what makes you feel uncomfortable or makes you feel emotionally unavailable is a strong step to take. Because for a lot of people, including myself, it's so hard to talk about feelings. I have a hard time talking about feelings where it does not sound like I'm complaining about what you are or aren't doing for me.
Exactly. For
So
me, it's more
the
about the
times,
feeling understood. Like,
mm,
are you understanding what I'm saying, or are you just
yeah, sweeping it under the rug, echándolo pa un lado, like they say. And that's just something that we get judged for, and it's very misunderstood.
can be considered as la peleona,
Hmm.
um, la llorona? You know, the one that's always mad. That's why a lot of times es mejor no decir nada.
Yeah. Bueno, dicen, la gente le gusta decir, like, oh, es mejor no decir nada, because ¿para qué? ¿Qué voy a resolver?
Yeah.
Em, my significant other is gonna keep doing the same thing, or my parents are not gonna change. They're already old. They are how they are. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they don't change. It doesn't matter if nothing changes. You got that out of your chest. It's not something that you have to live with anymore. It doesn't matter.
Whether
So,
it solves the situation or not, I've had to learn to say it so that I said it,
ya,
not
como
because
que
I'm getting feedback.
ya te quitaste eso de la cabeza, del corazón y de adentro. Ya, pasó, lo dijiste. Ups, te pusiste bravo. Ah, bueno.
Yeah,
And
because the
I
no one is
noticed,
listening at this point. Oh
yeah.
well.
Well, if they don't want to listen and take into consideration what you're telling them, that's just on them. That shows a lot about them and their personality. But it shouldn't have anything to do with you, you know? I feel like your emotions are valid, but you have to be realistic sometimes, you know? Like, was it valid because you were just like, oh no, I want it this way because that's just who I am? Or there's a backstory to that and it just
Right.
kept pouring and dropping and dropping, and ya el vaso se llenó and it got overboarded and, etc. And I feel like a lot of times, and I think you might be able to relate with this one. People like to keep themselves busy just so that they don't have time to think.
I have to because
I'm
a lot of
not
times
pointing
it's not.
fingers.
No. But for me, it'll start with this issue, but it'll branch.
Hmm.
Not because someone said something, not because someone did something, but because my brain created legs on a spider.
Yeah.
So I do. Until the situation is resolved, I have to. And that's why a
Yeah.
lot of times I rather do confrontation and be like, okay, this is how I feel.
But regardless of that, when, so correct me if I'm wrong, do you feel like when you have something that bothers you, it can be as small or as big, it doesn't matter. You're you will go into this stage that it's like, okay, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to go to the gym, I need to be with my son, and I just to keep your mind busy to not
Yeah,
think about that.
about the situation. Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that can be overwhelming sometimes because you're not giving yourself the space to process those emotions or to process that issue that you're
It makes
having.
you more anxious,
Hmm. Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. I feel like I do that too, and the way that I do it, and you can tell, like, if a person knows me, that they know that the way that I would like go around a certain situation is like, oh, I have to declutter. Yay, it's declutter time. And I would literally throw everything in a bag. I would throw my entire furniture. And then when I'm done, I'm still like, okay, but I still have this problem. How are we gonna go about that? So I kind of like try to keep myself busy by, taking out my entire closet, spending 10 hours out of my day trying on clothes and making a bag to like donate. And I'm not gonna lie, it makes me feel good. It really
For the
does make me
moment,
feel
yeah.
good momentarily. But when I'm done, I shut the closet door and the bags are off to donations. The problem's still there. The emotions are still there. So,
And then you burn out.
and then I'm on to the next project and on to the next project and on to the next project. So I feel like that's not healthy either. Um,
It kind of blends in the physical and the emotional burnout, which is
yeah.
harder to come out of that
Mm-hmm.
burnout. That's why a lot of people are like, well, I'm in this funk. I haven't been able to get back to the gym like I wanted to. I haven't been able to be as active as I used to be. And it's because you're mixing the emotional burnout with the physical burnout.
Yeah. And let me tell you something, the mental burnout, I think, is worse than physical.
Yeah. Because remember, the brain transmits to the body. So you can feel physical pain and you're not hurt. It's just your mind
Mhm.
is the one that's
Yeah,
burnt out.
yeah. ¿Cómo que decían? I forgot there was like the saying like in Spanish that it was like when you were like hungry or something, you would think of something else and like you'll stop being hungry. And I was like, because your mind is so powerful. Your
I
mind
know
is
what
so
you mean.
powerful. Or like when you're hungry, toma agua, que eso te llena. And it's like,
Yes,
what?
there was toma agua que tú lo que tenía era sed, no hambre.
And it's like up here, and you're like, okay, let me chug this. And then all of a sudden, it kind of like went away, but
But
then it comes back.
you know what's funny? It was like modified to something else because the reality is, when my parents and I'm sure your mom, they had to do that
To some extent, yeah.
because they
Agua con
didn't.
azúcar.
A veces no había comida o no había
Oh,
suficiente. Si comías ahora, no ibas a comer por la
mhm,
noche. And
yeah.
now it's more like your brain is strong enough to tell you that you're not hungry.
Mhm.
And it was because in the situations that they were, toma agua y ya no tenías hambre.
Yeah. Agua con azúcar prieta. That's it.
Take care of the mind,
You
take
want
care
to
of the
lose weight?
body.
Agua con azúcar prieta.
Agua con azúcar prieta. Not them catching diabetes because you just
Oh my God, are you on Ozempic? No, agua con azúcar prieta.
agua con azúcar prieta.
That's it. Fucking passes out. Oh my
La
God, I
azúcar en
can't.
200.
Oh my God. But I'm skinny though.
Of course, no shit.
Snatch, snap, go sideways. Like, bitch,
Hot
what
girl
the fuck?
summer.
Oh my God, she passed out. It's the heat. No, bitch, it's diabetes. Definitely mental is a lot more stronger than physical. Um, Also, a lot of things that can affect suppressing emotions is like distance between your loved ones, whether it's, parents, family members, or even like whoever you're in a relationship with, like that can cause a problem, even
And it's not
resentment.
just physical distance.
Yeah,
Because a lot of
mentally.
people think of it like I, they live far, they don't know my situation, so like, why would I even waste my time in explaining it? No, it's generational like distance. Like
Yeah.
they grew up in a whole different situation. Just like my little cousin, she's not 10 years exactly younger than me, but she's about that range. And there's a lot of differences between my us growing up in our time than her.
Or-
You know, or either she got it more difficult or she got it easier, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But compared to our parents, we got it easier, y así sucesivamente. So it'll change the
As the
perspective and
generations
everything.
go by, yeah. As the generations go by, it becomes difficult. So, like those relationships of like your parents versus yourself. And again, this is a very much cultural thing. I feel like a lot of the parents of like our parents' generation, which I was like, what, Gen X or something? I don't even know what generation they are. They're not very educated on mental health.
También que
And
I don't know about your side of your mom, because your dad is probably a whole different story. But for example, the Cuban, because that's the only part I have.
yeah, because the
A lot of them,
cultural is two different
right?
countries. Yeah.
They a lot of them didn't go past fourth grade.
Right. Yeah.
So,
But
so bruto, what they call bruto, you know?
yeah. Yeah. No,
Entonces
I
they've
mean,
had
my
to
mom
con
finished, she finished, but
trancazo.
still, like, I remember, not that I remember personally, but I have heard stories as I've grown up 31 years now. Oh, ¿qué depresión de qué? Tú lo que tienes que salir a buscarte un trabajo. ¿Qué ansiedad?
Tómate un,
¿Cuáles son los
tómate
nervios?
un café. Tómate un
No
café
tomes
para que
más
te dé
café por la
ánimo.
noche para que no te dé ansiedad. It's like, what? Tienes un tic nervioso. Like, oh
Tienes
my
un tic
God.
nervioso. No, she didn't.
And you're here
No,
with Tourette
look,
syndrome and shit. Like, listen,
look.
I
There's
have
a lot
heard
of
that
shit that
happen
they
so
don't
many times.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not educated in mental health. They don't understand that depression is real, anxiety is real,
Mental
all
health
these
hit
other
my
things are
family in the
real.
face in
Yeah,
2020.
yeah,
Right in the face. Like, you didn't believe in it? Here's your
yeah,
life lesson. It might not
yeah.
have happened directly to you, but it's happening right around you.
Yeah. So it depends on what your age is because we have different viewers, but different ages of for our viewers. If you're, the older generation, um, hopefully they have an understanding that it's something that it's being talked about more. It's more
Yeah.
open because before it was kind of like oh, para que tú vas a ir a un psicólogo, tú no estás loco. And it's like eso no
I've been
eso
the
no tiene
first
nada que ver.
one that has been
Mm.
to one,
Yeah, in your family.
and I'm the only one.
Yeah. I've done counseling before. I've done counseling. I did counseling after I had my daughter. I did a couple of sessions. Um, and it was nice. It was nice how
It was a way
it
for me to
pushes you.
speak what I didn't want other people to hear.
Hmm.
Because remember, I wasn't the only one going through it in
Yeah,
in their own ways. And so you extra worry the people around you, and I did not need that on top of me.
yeah. I did counseling when I was like in a postpartum stage. Because again, I mean, hormones had a lot to do with it, but also like my
Hell yeah.
emotions. Yeah, for sure. I mean, still to this day, hormones are like,
Hell yeah.
but I had a lot of resentment. I had a lot of resentment towards, my husband. And it was just like, why do I? And it was so weird because it's like I would have resentment, like, oh, you get to do this and you get to do that. And then at the
Abs
same time, it's like,
Todavía es
why do I
así.
feel like that? Like I used to say to myself, why do I feel like that? Like I have nothing to complain about. And it was just there was a lot going on up here.
Because we make ourselves feel bad for feeling certain ways.
Yeah. And
Like, I
that's
shouldn't
where the
feel like this
disconnect.
because I'm not a single mom. Or, everybody's healthy. Siempre es una excusa. Why would you be feeling that way?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just not something that we want validation for, but I guess we're just trying to find like someone that understands. And unless you've been through something or unless you're going through something and you meet someone that is educated on that or has been through that, you're gonna feel like nobody understands.
And someone that listens to listen.
Yeah.
Because remember, that's what they're for. They're not
Hmm.
there to listen to respond like everybody else. They're there to listen. So, regardless of what you're going through, they're gonna sit there and be like, okay, but how does that make you feel? So you're gonna go deeper, and unconsciously you're gonna go deeper.
And unconsciously, you're gonna unlock memories that you didn't even know you remembered.
Memories, reasoning,
Traumas,
situations that you're like, oh,
traumas.
this is why.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and it took me 3 sessions, girl. It didn't take me that long.
I I I've considered like going back, not again, te tiene que ir a un psicólogo, tú no estás loco. Not because I'm going crazy.
For
It's
mental
because it
health,
helps me. It
keeping it
helps
healthy.
me keep my mind healthy and it helps me become a better parent because if sometimes we do things as moms that it's like, why am I like, why is that like my first way of reacting? And when you stop and you think about it, it's like, well, it's because you were raised like that. And that's all you know. You've never been a mom before. So like you're going based off like what you remember. So it's like, why am I
Yeah,
acting like this? Like I need to stop acting like this. And how can I stop acting like this?
right.
And it takes some work, but we're working on it.
We're all working on it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, it's the constant, like just not as just as a parent, but as myself, as a person, I feel like lately I've been constantly like more snappy, more irritated. Like I can get like ticked off like really
But
fast.
that's not okay. So and because a lot of people go straight to like, oh, this is what I saw también. We're underslept. Sometimes we don't eat
Sure.
correctly.
No.
We don't catch enough sun outside most days. For those that even when they work, because remember, we don't work like back in the day, que era bajo el sol,
Mhm.
ahora son las oficinas. It's indoor with AC, no vitamin D, no fresh air. So we're
Yeah.
lacking a lot of environmental things that we need.
Nutrients. Nutrients. Yeah.
And then the food is processed.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that we don't put into consideration.
Yeah. But still, it's something that if you don't learn how to control,
Manage.
yeah, it's not justifiable. I can't stand those people that say, bueno, yo soy así.
No,
No,
no. Evolve.
no, no. Because si tú eres así, then you need to go get diagnosed because there's something wrong with you. Because there's no way. Like, don't pick and choose who to take your hotness on. Don't pick and choose to come to me and drop your bag
Yeah, because
of
you don't know
hot
what
shit on
somebody
me.
else is going through.
Yeah.
And
Like,
just as
oh,
much
well,
as you're
that's just the way
mad,
I am.
which is valid, you can be upset, short tempered, whatever you want to call it, but the
Yeah.
other person's feelings are also just as valid,
Yeah. I'm telling you,
especially when
it's
they're
it's
kids.
something, yeah. The kids is such a different, I guess a different topic or a different dynamic too, because I have to constantly remind myself, they're kids. They're kids. They're not purposely like
I've
doing shit
learned
on
to use the
purpose.
word I'm sorry
hmm
a
Oh
lot.
yeah, I apologize to my kids. Yeah. I sit when
Girl,
I spaz out, maybe like in a moment of like frustration, I'm running late, I need to get out the door, and the kids are just like, and I'm like, once I'm in the car and I'm just like, you know what? I'm sorry. I didn't have to talk to you like that. And I talk to my daughter, my son, not yet, but I talk to my daughter like that. Sometimes I stop and I'm like, that was so necessary from me.
right?
Her behavior is always unnecessary, but she don't know that.
Yeah, they're
So
not
my
supposed to.
response to her, she's not gonna understand that. My response to her behavior, me being overboard, and I just don't feel like it's right. I literally talk to her like a little adult, and I'm like, the way that mommy said that to you, or the way that mommy spoke to you was not nice, and I'm sorry. Do you accept my apology? And I ask her every single time, do you accept my apology?
Right.
And she, 99% of the time, she says, yes, mommy, I do. Hug,
90% of
kiss.
the time.
I mean, I haven't encountered
No,
that one time. She's like, no, bitch. No, no, fucking go to your room.
I can already hear her little voice. No.
You know? And because of that, she's learning how to come to me and apologize for things that she knows she shouldn't have done. Because she's done things, and then she comes and she's like, perdón, mami, yo no voy a hacer eso más. Bullshit. She's gonna do it again. But
Bullshit. She's
she's
gonna do it as soon as she turns
learning.
around.
She's learning how to come and
Right, she's learning
do
that
her
we all
right from
make
wrongs.
mistakes and she's not the only one that's gonna make them. And it's okay to come and tell you, which is a great
Yeah.
thing because Talia's a girl.
Yeah.
So she needs to learn that even if she makes a mistake, just like you come to her, she can come to you.
Yeah. So that's something that, breaking generational curses, I
And
guess.
you're giving her permission to feel around you,
Yeah.
which is something we don't know how to do.
Yeah. I'm giving her that open space to let go of her suppressed emotions or anything of that
Which I
matter.
feel like I learned how to do more now as an adult with my mom.
Me too.
Not that I couldn't trust her, it's just she's not very cuddly person.
It's fine. But she's meeting you emotionally elsewhere,
Yeah,
which is important. Because right now you don't need somebody to be hugging and kissing you. Right now you need someone that's gonna be mentally there supporting you. Because
absolutely.
imagine all the stuff that you go through on a daily basis, and then your mom comes around and she's like, "Ay, un abrazo," and you're
Ay,
like, "Mom,
ay,
mom,
ay.
get off of me."
Echa pa' allá.
Ya vaya, vieja. ¿Cuál es la besuquería esa?
But
Sorry, mom.
as kids, especially in their age now, it's different. The way you show them to approach you is way different from being an
Yeah,
adult.
being an adult.
But I felt more, it's more comfortable, I guess, because antes teníamos el, nos va a matar, nos va a matar, and now it's just like, it's illegal. They can't kill us.
I mean, they can, but they're gonna have to pay for that. The consequences.
They'll think
The
about it before killing
consequences.
us. Let's just say that.
Yeah, no. I've noticed that a lot of people do like certain behaviors to kind of like numb out the effects of having certain emotions or certain issues that they're going through. Personally, I can relate because for me, I know that when I put the kids down and I'm like in my nightcap, like I showered, I'm in bed, instead of just like going to sleep and getting my energy, like I find myself on my phone scrolling for such a long time that when I look at the time, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. Mind you, I get in bed like 11:30-ish, and it's like 2:30, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah,
And it's
girl.
something that I just like, you know, I'm in there. And yeah, some of the stuff that I watch is like educational for me, for things that I want to try for myself. But it's just like, it's not a good time. Like, I should be resting, growing mentally, but it's just
I
something
go
that
down
I,
that rabbit hole too, and it's like I start with one video and then I go into another one,
Mhm. Yeah.
and it's
And
exactly
the
that.
anxious, the anxious eating, the snacking, like, they gave me like a box of like the little Ferrero Rochers for my birthday, like
Oh my
kind
god,
of a
yup.
big box. They were gone in like 4 days, and there was like 50 of them in there.
Just be happy it took you 4 days. Hoy por poco me empacho con mango.
It's not an, it's not healthy. It's not a
I
healthy like
know.
behavior, and it's just something to distract your brain
Girl, not just
momentarily. Just
behavioral. My stomach was on fire today after all the mangoes. So,
yeah.
like, in the moment, you're just like, ah, and then afterwards, you're like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's either you
so
eat a lot or you eat nothing. That's one of the two.
that's two extremes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I think like things that can help is like journaling, again, like therapy we mentioned earlier, therapy, but like doing things that make you, what is that chemical that we release like when we're doing something active? I don't know the words for it, but
Endorphins? Endorphins.
we're gonna go with that because I don't know what it's called.
Is it
But like
endorphins?
dancing, doing exercise. I don't
Girl,
know.
letting
Why are
out
you
the
still asking me?
rage. That rage room. Oh, I want to do that.
Dancing, crying. You know what I've been wanting to do for a long time? I don't know if I've said this already, but maybe I have. Like get like one of those big, big, big porcelain plates from Hobby Lobby and just write whatever I want with like a Sharpie and just like
Break it.
break it. I like, just break it. I feel like that's gonna like momentarily make me feel so good. So like those are like more healthy options than being on my phone for like 4 hours straight.
4 hours straight.
And then just talking it out with your partner, talking it out with a friend. And
Mm,
if you don't feel comfortable, again, we've created this podcast with the addition of a safe space. If there's anything that you want to share
oh, that's what the
anonymously.
real talk submission is also for.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
not
that's
gonna
what I'm
know who you
saying.
are.
Like we literally don't know who you are. But that's something that it's something that helps you because you either not verbally, but like you just get it out of your system. I'm going through this. What do you guys
Right.
think? What do you know?
Whatever helps you process and
Mhm.
also process and resolution. because you don't want to
Yeah.
process the emotion and just leave it at that.
Yeah. Okay. How do I not put myself back in this position? Like the next time, because it's not gonna be the last time you're gonna feel angry,
Oh
sad,
no.
irritated. So like, okay, how do I fix it? And in the future, if it happens again, how do I fix it rapidly? Not let it sit for such a long
A
time until
different way
like,
to react, a
mm-hmm,
different way to
yeah,
process.
yeah. So again, we want to encourage you all who are listening and have a story to tell, even if it's short, if you want to go all in with the details, um, just
Exactly.
send it over our way and we'll put our 2 cents in. And with that being said, we actually have a real talk submission for today that is kind of relatable, um, to some
I like the
extent of our
versatile
episode.
part of it.
This one's in
I
Spanish.
know. That's what I
I
like.
love nuestra
So we're going to
audiencia
respond in
español.
Spanish.
Yeah, we are. So here we are switching languages.
En este episodio tenemos una submisión. Es una historia en español, so vamos a responder en español. Go ahead.
Ok, y dice, hola chicas, tengo 33 años, sin hijos, sin pareja. Y en cada reunión familiar es lo mismo de los comentarios de y el novio. Y eso que no tienes novio. Como si mi valor dependiera de tener a alguien. Estoy cansada de justificar mi felicidad solo porque no encaja en lo que se esperan de mí.
Bien común.
Mira, mami, let me
Ese
tell
es
you
bien
something,
común.
¿ok? Sí. Y el novio, tú todavía no tienes novio.
Mira, pero si yo
Chica, pero
tengo
¿qué?
un hijo con el mío y si no ando con él, eh, ¿y Leo?
Como si
I
Leo
don't know.
fuera la cola tuya.
¿Seo? Llámalo, pregúntale.
Ya, no. Mira, mi opinión de esto es, tú no tienes que justificar nada. Porque estás diciendo, estoy
Absolutamente nada.
cansada de justificar. Tú no tienes que justificar absolutamente nada. Si tú te sientes, o si tú en este momento no te sientes en esa posición de querer estar en algo
O no has encontrado nada
comprometedor,
que sirva.
porque que no sirve nada. Bueno, anyways, comprometedor, tú no tienes que justificar nada. Yo no veo por qué tú tengas que dar explicación a nadie.
Y tu valor no tiene nada
Eh,
que ver con quién tú estás.
no,
Así de
tú
simple.
sigue con tu cabecita alta, like, no, no tienes que justificar nada. Tú simplemente le dices a las personas, yo estoy feliz sin alguien, sin tener que estar lavando el calzoncillo sucio, ni haciendo comida todos los días.
No. Así de
Mira,
simple. Esto no es una carrera, esto es una aventura. Así el que le guste bien y si no también.
o sea, no, búscate un part-time
Llévate
boyfriend,
un blow up doll a la fiesta.
un
Pero
part-time
aquí.
boyfriend. Mira, para la próxima reunión familiar, contáctame, yo te voy a rentar mi hermano y él llega como presentación del novio para que no te pregunten más y ya, te
No,
quitas eso de arriba.
Mori.
No,
Ay,
no, pero
ya yo me lo
honestamente,
imagino.
mi hermano que no
Ya
sabe
yo
ni
me...
una palabra de español.
Excuse me.
¿Ah?
Excuse
Tu valor no tiene nada que ver con si tienes pareja o si no tienes pareja. Eso no tiene nada que ver. Aquí hay miles de personas que tienen pareja y no son felices. No son
Oh,
felices. So,
absolutely.
so, esa es mi opinión. No tienes que justificar nada. Tu valor no tiene nada que ver si tienes pareja o no. Y tú sigues diciéndole a las personas que no es su problema. Y ya.
O si no, cómprate un muñeco inflable y llévalo a la fiesta.
That'll be really funny. That'll be really funny.
Y el novio, pero aquí.
Ay, el novio. Ay, espérate, se me quedó en el carro. Déjame ir a buscarlo. Y ya, no.
Mira
Se
que
le
ahora están
explota la
baratos
mano.
en Temu.
No le miren la mano que está es manquito, es manquito. No. Estuviera bueno hacerlo, pero no, definitivamente no viene al caso. Tu valor no depende de otra persona. Te lo digo honestamente, tu valor no depende de otra persona.
Terminamos el Real Talk
He
Submission.
dicho,
Caso
caso
cerrado.
cerrado. No cierro la computadora porque si no se apaga esto. So we hope you found value to this episode, and we hope that this has created a safe space for you to move forward with your emotions if they're suppressed, and to find a healthy way to let them go, have those uncomfortable conversations without worrying about what's going to be the outcome, as long as you are vocalizing your
Feelings.
thought process, yeah, your feelings and your emotions. Find things that are healthy for you and your lifestyle and that absolutely make you happy. Again, if you have someone to talk about your issues or your feelings, please do so. Talk to someone. And if you don't, or if you feel like you don't, again, you're more than welcome to go to our Real Talk submission. It's in the link of our Instagram
Let it
bio.
all out.
And Elsa, let it go. Just type your little fingers away
Absolutely.
and let it
Sin
go. Okay.
pena, sin escrúpulo.
Nada. ¿Cómo que dice? Al 100. Al 100.
Así.
Y mientras más detalles, mejor. Porque yo soy chismoso.
Somos. Somos.
So,
And remember, we're in this together.
estás sola.
And
And
let's
let's get
get
our
our pink back.